Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all the distinguished guests who have come here despite of the change of venue to Lahore, and excellent effort by the organizers to organize and change the venue. I'll share with you the journey of how we established commercial courts in Lahore High Court, a first of its kind. There's a problem with the net. They will be showing the Lahore High Court website has all the detail how commercial courts are operated. But before I have 10 minutes, 5, so I can walk you through the purpose of this conference today on the judicial perspective on arbitration. When we speak on doing a business, establishing commercial court, I first thought that the gauge to measure the investment climate in Pakistan are the corporate law firms, which advise the foreigners in foreign investment how good the law in the country is. The gauge for corporate governance are the chartered accountant, which explains the foreigners to invest how the company, management, and board and shareholders are interlinked and protected. But today, talking on the judicial perspective, the gauge to invest the investment climate in Pakistan is the judicial perspective, the role of judiciary in investing, giving confidence to the foreign investment. Well, the issue for establishing commercial court is to give a strong message to the world that our judicial precedents and judicial perspective on foreign investment is, you can see from the role of judges. I had a book launch on the arbitration laws of Pakistan 3 months ago in Islamabad, where the author wrote a book published by Cluer. I didn't have to say much. I just said the book contains 266 pages, 1,022 footnotes, touchwood, all judgments of my superior courts: Supreme Court, High Court, Sindh High Court, Islamabad High Court, Lahore High Court. We don't need to go further. Our judges have always led the way to protect the foreign investment. As you can see today, I came. Later on, another judge will High Court will come, the Chief Justice will come, the Chief Supreme Court judge will come. Shows the strength of protection of judiciary in strengthening the confidence of the investors in Pakistan. The issue is what this CIRB can do is that when recommending cases for arbitration, a role in choosing the arbitrator, the training of the arbitrator, training, and while the net will start, I'll show you through the commercial courts, how we set up the events, how we had the law. All information is available on the Lahore High Court website. It is a separate thing. Give me a presentation, put my presentation please. Now, first and the most important thing to say is that how we speak about the protection to the investor. The gauge, American US Department issued a report on Pakistan investment, on climate investment in Pakistan, showing the confidence of investors in Pakistan. Next page. So what I can explain to the world as being a judge, handling commercial cases. For the last 25 years I was handling international arbitrations, and now I'm handling some cases. The first question would be, is the rule of law. There is a provision in the Federal List Part 1 explaining the implementing treaties, how the foreign arbitration and local arbitrations are dealt by the courts in Pakistan, can be considered as an approach of judicial perspective of judiciary strength to the arbitration, would be mentioning the Article 4 of the Constitution. The Constitution of Pakistan is unique features. The reason I am saying judicial perspective, the conference is on judicial perspective. This Constitution gives the sovereign authority of judgments to have a binding effect under Article 189 of the Constitution. The Constitution of Pakistan itself explains that if the Supreme Court decides a question of law, enunciates a principle of law, it shall be binding in the courts below. Same is the case with Article 201 of the High Court. Same principle, enunciates a principle of law, decides a question of law as a binding effect. Then, secondly, the issue would be that giving the confidence arises out of Article 37 of the Constitution, which explains the inexpensive and expeditious justice. For that rule of law, while looking at the Economic Reform Act of 1992, Pakistan Private Foreign Investment Act 1976, and other laws dealing with the issue of foreign investment. Very slightly, Omer, what are you doing with this? Have a first slide. Then that brought issue was that how courts have examined the provisions of the Arbitration Act 1940. Then also the recognition after Pakistan signed the New York Convention 1958, we first had the Ordinance of Recognition and Enforcement of our Foreign Arbitral Award Ordinance, which was passed in 2005. Then finally a law in 2011, an act with the act of also the private investment. Purpose is how courts have examined now. Courts have always tried to protect the sanctity of the arbitration. Doing that, under those laws which I am explaining you, I've asked them to hand over a handbook. That handbook explains the role of commercial courts. Why did we have commercial courts? First reason being, access to justice. In Pakistan, first we talk about rule of law. Access to justice is second part. That there are courts in Pakistan, Supreme Courts, High Courts, tribunals and other specialized courts, and even people from SSCP are sitting here. We are all regulators. How they are handling slide 3? Dispensation of justice. This made us realize to form a commercial court. You have this book, if Ali Jalal is sitting from the World Bank, which made us why we made commercial courts. At the end I explained, then the whole panel will take over, that we had High Court rules and orders. Commercial benches were given. I am a commercial judge as a High Court judge. There are commercial cause list of the judges, and the wording used, judge may however make any other case as commercial clause either at the request of the party or suo motu if satisfied the said case is commercial and case is defined in rule. So High Court rules and order functions the High Courts, and Supreme Court also had the rules act, and then we thought what to do, because every judge has other cases to deal. Commercial court cases were not got stuck, they were delayed. We thought what to do. We should have a specialized commercial court. How did we do it? Next please. We saw the Company Act 2017 also mentions alternate mechanism for expeditious resolution of corporate disputes. Director Law of SCCP Brad Saeed is sitting here, who came specially from Islamabad. Then we thought every law is dealing with the concept of dispensation of justice. Then how we made this? Next please. We look at the Supreme Court of Pakistan, headed by the Chief Justice of Pakistan, the Law Justice Commission, which is Secretary sitting here, and National Judicial Policy Making Committee. They met and they thought that we have to provide speedy justice to all tribunals, and then we got the opening above from the Supreme Court. And that opening led us make commercial court as an exemplary. When I made overseas cell at the Lahore High Court for overseas cases, it took 3 years to speak on them, giving judgments on them. Finally, the Supreme Court of Pakistan, just 2 weeks ago, has appreciated the efforts of how the Lahore High Court led the way in establishing the overseas cell without support of any law by one notification. By knowing the fact that Pakistan judiciary never stopped working throughout the COVID time, every office was closed, judges never stopped working. We worked throughout COVID. Lawyers and judges sat throughout COVID because bottom line is dispensation of justice in a speedy way. Next please. The purpose was to deal with, iska agla kar do, next uska agla. Next was that this booklet, we concluded everything, how commercial court are exemplary. The website of Commercial Court High Court can explain that to you. There's an ordinance here, the article is written here, and then I passed a judgment of Pizza Hut explaining everything, and that commercial court is working with the notification by the Chief Registrar on the direction of the Chief Justice. What have they done? Because when the World Bank came, Ali Jalal is sitting here, they said they want to do business in Pakistan, but there is an issue of ease of doing business, enforcement of a contract. When you enforce a contract, every contract has dispute resolution mechanism. And that dispute resolution mechanism always have the ADR. And those ADRs are delayed. The commercial courts, we set up 5 commercial courts with 5 appellant benches and 5 commercial judges. 2 years ago, they worked and decided various cases. They worked full time. One judge of commercial court in Lahore, Faisalabad, Gujranwala, Multan and Rawalpindi. Now those commercial judges are deciding every case. A session judge or senior civil judge can nominate a judge, and that judge which have been nominated can mark those cases to them. And those judges will only do commercial judge cases. Those judges will then refer the matter for arbitration, stay the proceedings, and now the success of those, here website to Lahore High Court. There is the website of High Court. Every judgment passed by any judge, any order passed by any judge, anybody can see anywhere in the world can look into it. World Bank saw Pakistan rated for 156 out of 180 countries because they had, then when we set up the commercial courts, we remove all the lacunas. Uska dana courts ki judgments pe, law judgments, judgment left pe. There are the judges this side. This you can see the commercial court for the High Court giving the background pe come to the main page, and I'll conclude in at the end that here is anybody can go to the Lahore High Court website. If you want to shift your case from a normal court to a commercial case, you can make a complaint. Upar rehaut hai usko. Shafat, show that upar leke aao, niche jao zara aage. Main page, Shafkat. These are judgments. Any judgment passed by a High Court mentioned here. Judgments passed by a commercial courts mentioned there. The purpose, main page pe aa jao. Shafkat, can you come to main page? Home page. This is the purpose of the commercial court. In my Pizza Hut judgment, which I cited to bring confidence and how you deal with the commercial cases, then this is the purpose. We give you the background of commercial cases. And this is the Chief Justice of the Lahore High Court, whose patronage on the commercial courts, then the judge dealing with the matters, and there you can file any case with Justice Shahid Kareem, myself and another judge. On foreign arbitration, I am handling with Justice Shahid Kareem. On other cases of commercial courts, all matters related to ADR or arbitration, there is the commercial courts on these cities. If you have any issue on this issue, then you can come to it. Then come that these are office bearers. Anybody, anywhere in Pakistan, can refer a matter to commercial courts. They can then fix a case. The hearing is done day by day, and that all hearing, when you look at the website, you can see every date is mentioned and every order is uploaded on the commercial court. Now what we have done is we have set up that there is a commercial court in Punjab. The highest body have also recommended that other provinces should follow the same thing, and that commercial court is now deciding lots of cases, and the best would be the corporate law firms to say whether we have done a right thing or wrong thing. Thank you.